Welcome to Football with Cheese. Well, it's Super Bowl Sunday. It's got about 5 hours to go before the game starts, and I rewatched some film yesterday. I've been thinking about this. Wasn't going to make a video, but now I have to. It's something Mike said on the Lights Out podcast. He mentioned the Seahawks playing more zone or man. We were talking about that. So I watched both games that Seattle played, and I watched one of the Patriots games, rewatched it, and I noticed some things. So I wanted to go over what I saw, what I think had happened, and why I'm even more confident in my prediction on who will win. But first, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss one of my videos. Like I said, Lights Out Podcast, me and Mike, we do it every Tuesday night, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. About 20 or 30 minutes after the Super Bowl, we're going to go live, and we're going to do our instant reaction. I'll probably make another video tomorrow, just go and run over some more, whatever we don't talk about. So, like I said, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. Okay, so first of all, why are these teams here? Well, they're good teams, first of all. Second of all, they're relatively healthy. That's one thing not talked about enough is almost every year, the teams that make the Super Bowl are healthier than the rest of the league. The Eagles were very healthy at the end of the year. They won the Super Bowl last year. The Seahawks and Patriots, they're not missing a whole lot of people at all. And that's really important. Like, you cannot lose a Tucker Kraft and a Micah Parsons and expect to just make the Super Bowl. You can't. They're impact players. And these teams, for the most part, all their impact players are healthy. So that's one of the main reasons they're there. The Patriots, obviously, we got to mention it, had an easy schedule, and they took advantage of it. They beat up the bad teams. They beat the teams they should have. They won their home playoff games. That's why they're in the Super Bowl. And the Seahawks, they just have a really good team with few weaknesses. In fact, let's quickly talk about when the Seahawks are on offense, the Patriots on defense. I want to focus more on the other side in this video, but just want to quickly mention the key matchup for the Rams was how those guards would hold up. Rookie Gray Zabel at left guard, Anthony Bradford, to me, one of the worst right guards in the NFL, the big weakness on the Seahawks team, versus the Rams front. And that's why I picked the Rams to beat the Seahawks. It's because I thought Kobe Turner and Braden Fisk, people like that, would get pressure, would beat those guards, and Sam Darnold would be running for his life. Jared Verse off the edge as well, and they got pressure. But Sam Darnold was terrific against pressure. He stood into the last second on some throws, threw some dimes. He was terrific at handling pressure. The old Sam Darnold never came back. We have a new Sam Darnold. That's why the Seahawks are here. That's why they won. And the Patriots, they have a pretty good pass rush, but it's not as good as the Rams. It just isn't. Their secondary is better, but they're not as good up front as the Rams. So I don't think they can get as much pressure unless they blitz, and they shouldn't blitz. Because if they blitz, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cooper Kupp, two of the smartest, highest IQ receivers I've seen in the league, they will destroy you if you blitz. So that side of the ball, I think the Seahawks are going to score points. I know the Patriots defense has looked amazing, but you played a Charger team in cold weather with no offensive line. You played a backup quarterback in Denver. You played a Texan team, once again in cold weather, where G.J. Stroud played the worst game I've ever seen him play. So you're not going to be able to expect to dominate like that. I think Seattle will score points, and the weather's supposed to be really good. So the Patriots have to score points to win, at least in the 20s, maybe the 30s. So how do they do that? This is the key matchup. Drake May and the Patriots offense versus the Seahawks defense. So once again, Mike mentioned about the Seahawks playing a lot of zone. They did in the regular season. They played a lot of zone. And I think the main reason is because Julian Love, the star safety, and Devon Witherspoon, the star corner, two of the best players at their position, they missed a lot of time. And when you do not have star players like that in the secondary, it's tough to play man consistently. So they played a lot of zone. Now, in the playoffs, they played a ton of man. Against the 49ers, absolutely. George Kittle was out for the year. The 49ers did not have the weapons to separate from the Seahawks, so of course you play man, and it worked. And then against the Rams, I thought they'd play a ton of zone, but they didn't. They played a lot of man, and it worked. And one of the reasons it worked is Nick Emmanwori, the rookie safety, played amazing. He even had a couple plays where he was on Puka across the middle. Another play, he was on Devontae Adams, and he was able to break up both passes. And he hurt his ankle early in the week. He's good to go. I think he has just a minor sprain, but he really was tremendous in that game, and he's the X factor. But you have really good corners. You have really good safeties, so they're going to play man. So what do the Patriots do against man? They don't have a great receiving core. It's probably above average, but it's not great. And I don't think they can separate against man against Seattle. But man coverage has its weaknesses. And Drake May is the key. So he is great at scrambling. And if you play man coverage, your back is to the quarterback. Like, nobody plays man coverage against the Ravens because Lamar Jackson's just going to scramble. So if you have a really good scrambling quarterback, that's how you beat man. So what I would do if I were the Patriots, because I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball in Seattle. I just don't see it. I'd do a lot of play action early on, roll out, and scramble with Drake May. I would not be surprised if they even have some quarterback draws, some rollouts planned early on, early and often. You have to get Seattle out of man coverage, and that's the way to do it. Either run the ball, I think it's going to be tough to do, or scramble with Drake May. You cannot just let a quarterback scramble up and down the field. That would get this defense out of man and put him more into a zone. So that's one thing they have to do. If they don't do that, if they play man all game, they're able to, they're getting pressure with their front four, this could get ugly. I really think Seahawks could win comfortably, not a blowout or anything, but comfortably if the Patriots don't get them out of man coverage, because it's been really effective in the postseason. The last thing I want to mention, the Patriots' offensive line is much improved, much improved from last year. However, they're not elite at any spot. They're probably above average on the right tackle, right guard, average at center, and you have two rookies on the left side. And I expect Seattle to throw lots of stunts at them, throw everything in the playbook, not blitz a lot, front four, but lots of stunts just to try to confuse those rookies, and they have to be able to pick up those stunts or keep a tight end or running back in to help, because if Drake May is turning the ball over, if you're getting fumbles on him, if he's forcing interceptions, then Seattle will win comfortably, like I said. And I think they will. I think there'll be a turnover or two. I think Seattle wins by 2 or maybe even 3 scores. I know that's not a real popular opinion. Most people think it'll be a close game. Majority of people are picking Seattle. I saw a poll online, it was like 71, 72% people think Seahawks are winning. And a lot of so-called experts are picking the Seahawks to win, but the Patriots to cover the 4.5. I think Seattle covers. I think the only way the Patriots win is they got to score a lot of points, and they got to hope the old Sam Darnold comes back. And Seattle just has incredible special teams as well, so they could get a score that way. Last thing I want to mention, Josh McDaniels is a terrific offensive coordinator, and he has had some unbelievable play designs, unbelievable game plans. But so is Cliff Kingsbury. So you can't just go into the game, we have the better offensive coach. Almost every game this year, the Patriots have had the better offensive coordinator. In this game, I think it's a push. So you can't just rely on that. And look out for this play. If you pay attention to detail and formations, it almost always works. I love this play by Josh McDaniels. Sorry, I didn't have time to share my screen and do that. So you have 2 tight ends, 5 wide, 3 receivers, 2 tight ends. No one in the backfield. The tight ends line up just to the right of the offensive tackles. You have 2 receivers out wide, and you have Diggs in the slot just to the left of Hunter Henry, the tight end. And you send all 4 players but Diggs down the field. You send the tight ends down the seam, and you send the receivers 9 routes, deep routes. And then what Diggs does is he runs the middle of the field, turns around, and 4 or 5 yard play, it's there almost every time, because the linebacker has to run with the tight ends down the seam, and the safety does as well. So look out for that play. It's almost guaranteed 4 or 5 yards, and if it's run successfully and the players are playing man, they run down the field, he could get a lot of yards after catch as well. It's just a really tough play to defend. You obviously have to give Drake May time in the pocket because it takes a few seconds for Diggs to run the route. But look for Nick Emmanwori to maybe try to jump that route because he'll run it at least a few times. So let me know what you think. I think Seattle wins by 11 to 17 points. I could be wrong. The more I looked at the film, the more I'm confident that Seattle just has the better team. Give me your predictions in the comments. Who wins? What's the score? Do they cover the spread? If you enjoyed this, give me the thumbs up. Really helps out the channel. Once again, link for Lights Out Podcast in the description. We will go live right after the Super Bowl, so make sure you check that out. Share this with anyone who loves football. I'll cover all 32 teams on this channel. If you have not, check out this video about the NFL awards, and I'll see you in the next one.